Well, joining us today is Jennifer Campbell from Special Olympics Manitoba. And Jen, you and I, we've known each other for a number of years now, of course, a part of the SOM movement and the Special Olympics movement. And this week is really exciting because it's Special Olympics Manitoba Awareness Week. And how about you remind our listeners, what is that week?
You know what? Short and sweet. Special Olympics Manitoba Awareness Week is just simply about shining a light on our movement and shining a light on what our athletes are doing, what our coaches are doing, our families, and our broader Special Olympics family. It's a time to celebrate what we can do, even in times of a lot of can'ts.
Now, when it comes to Special Olympics Manitoba Awareness Week, how did it get its start?
You know what? We were fortunate. We have a wonderful group of honorary board members who, back in 2013, struck this idea that we needed to highlight a time for Special Olympics to shine, and so through the Manitoba Legislature, a proclamation was put forward, and now ever since, once a year, the second week in June, is celebrated as Awareness Week for us here at Special Olympics. So, great support from our MLAs over these past years to recognize that the movement makes an impact on the community, and they give us that acknowledgement each year.
Why is it important that we take some time to step back and recognize all that is Special Olympics Manitoba?
I think, these are such extraordinary times, and I'm sure kind of all of us, we kind of almost tired of the words pivot and the new normal and all those things. But, I've been someone who's looked at COVID-19 as, yes, it's been a series of challenges for us, certainly as an organization, there's no doubt. But at the same time, it's really pushed us to look at new ways of connecting and the importance of what we are in the community. And the reality is that, taking us back to our mission, we enrich the lives of individuals with an intellectual disability. So, the way that we typically do that is through our sport programs weekly that happen in communities. And we weren't able to do that this past year. So it really kind of brought to light that but we enrich lives. So we need to change the focus and what Special Olympics means to our athletes. It is their social connection. It's where their friendships are. It's how they define themselves. So we were challenged with how can we still create that for the athletes of Special Olympics. And so again, I think kind of bringing it back to who we are and what we celebrate. It's about spirit. It's about community. And I think now more than ever, I think we need that. We need to be reminded about how connected we are and how important it is, for all of us in the community to feel a part and to be included. And so I think, Awareness Week this year, again, even though it's virtual, I think takes on that meaning, and just reminds us how important community is.
Let's touch on that virtual part of Special Olympics Manitoba Awareness Week and just give us an idea, Jen, of the sort of things that are going to be happening over the coming days as we recognize athletes and SOM as an organization.
You know what, we did something really cool this week, I think, is, really asking people across the province why they love Special Olympics. And I have to say, we really had such a great response from community leaders, from local celebrities to our own volunteers and families and corporate partners, all of which took the time to share their story about why they love Special Olympics. So everybody could certainly follow that this week on all of our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We have our website at specialolympics.mb.ca that people can check out all of those sites to see how we're celebrating this week.
Now, a phrase that folks may be hearing throughout the week this week is accept with no exception. And they may not quite understand what that means in relation to Special Olympics Manitoba, and particularly those living with an intellectual disability. Could you talk about that, Jen?
Yeah, you bet. I mean, many of obviously our athletes have an intellectual disability. That's the population that we serve. And for many of our athletes, unfortunately, their experiences have been that they're on the periphery of the community. And it's more focused on what they can't do versus what they can do. And Special Olympics is about highlighting your abilities and highlighting what makes you special. So, the concept of accept with no exceptions is just simply to just accept us for who we are, accept us for all of the wonderful abilities we have and the challenges that we have and the likes we have and the dislikes we have, right? It's certainly a concept that it goes beyond Special Olympics, right? And I think, again, now more than ever, we're living in a time that, people are frustrated, and people are feeling maybe at odds in different ways. And I think, again, it's that lesson of just, accepting people for who they are and the wonderfulness that all of us brings to things. And people with an intellectual disability are exceptional, and deserve to be included in the broader community.
As we wrap up here this morning, Jennifer, maybe just share a take home message for all of our listeners throughout Southern Manitoba regarding Special Olympics Manitoba Awareness Week. What is your message to them, and what would you like them to take away?
I think that's a great question. I think, Special Olympics in general, right? We want people to understand the role we play in the community, and you can kind of say sport. But again, if we kind of come back to focusing on enriching lives, and the vehicle we use is sport, and sport is a great platform for team and for friends and for learning new things and for being challenged. And I guess what I want everyone to know is, although we've not been able to do what we've traditionally been able to do since last March, and that we've not got together on the playing field or on the soccer pitch or on the track or in the pool, that we have stayed connected and found ways to connect with the broader community. So know that we're still working hard to make sure that people with an intellectual disability are still counted in our community, and that they matter, and that we're working hard to make sure that they're staying engaged. And when it comes time to getting back to in-person programming, that we are ready. We're going to be stronger than ever, and obviously going to provide a safe opportunity for our athletes. But for people to know that we're still alive and well, and again, excited about supporting our athletes.